over the weekend. Today, news begins right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Thursday morning to you. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary this morning.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And what a difference a day makes. As we came in yesterday, we were talking about how mild it was, and still not bad, but definitely that front came through last night.
Yes, and it's quite a lightning show in some spots as well. Got to see a few lightning bolts. And this morning, it's not quite different than yesterday, but the thing is, it's not going to warm up that much. It's going to stay right at this temperature pretty much all day long. So, let's take a look at those current conditions out there right now. We are sitting at 47 degrees at Griffiths in Rome. Refreshing humidity, obviously. We are still in the midst of fall, and on top of that, too, we are just a minute away from a 7:30 sunrise. So on top of the days getting shorter, it's also going to cause those temperatures to get cooler and cooler every morning. 47 in Rome, 50 in Hamilton, 45 up in Watertown. So again, not a huge difference in starting temperature compared to yesterday. But as you can see here, the radar showing a lot of noise, of course, that inversion moving through, enough to show that the winds are coming from the north now, which means that today it's not warming up by much. No 70s on tap, more so low 50s. A decent breeze, looks to be less windy as compared to expected yesterday, but the main thing is you got lake effect clouds mixing in over parts of our area to start today. We are expecting those clouds to clear up a little bit as we head into this evening, especially tonight, and that could cause a potential for widespread frost. We'll, of course, talk about those chances coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Oneida County is launching.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Well, good morning, everyone. The time now is 5:10, and we're getting you set on what you can expect heading out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, let's take a live look at those traffic cameras across the Utica area and heading down the Mohawk Valley. For right now, things are looking mainly quiet. Roads are gradually drying up. We didn't really see a whole lot of rain last night, but some spots enough to dampen the roads a little bit and, of course, produce potentially some slick spots in places where the leaves have fallen. So a heads up to be extra cautious about that. But other than that, no fog reported as of right now, and temperatures not too bad with no frost currently taking place across the area. On our traffic tracker early this morning, just a stalled vehicle reported on the traffic indication right there, so no accidents reported at this point. But again, today, mostly cloudy start, temperatures in the 50s, remaining in the 50s this afternoon as that north wind keeps things cool, but overall mainly dry. Clouds will gradually clear out. We'll see some sunshine by this evening, and of course clear skies tonight. We'll talk about that frosty start tomorrow and how the weekend's shaping up straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Nearly 50 people across 10 states were...
Your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
For world-class care, call Central New York Brain and Spine Neurosurgery.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Today, starting out, mainly dry. A few showers rolled through yesterday, enough to pick up maybe a 1/10 of an inch maximum over parts of our region. But taking a live look at our Cavie Tower camera, we can see, of course, it's still very dark out. That's later sunrise is getting a lot more noticeable compared to several months ago, where we could see at least a little bit of early twilight even in the 5 o'clock hour. Around the state, those temperatures are hovering in the 40s and 50s. Zooming into central New York, we are sitting again in the 40s and 50s over pretty much the North Country, Mohawk Valley, and Southern Valley. So it's not too bad of a start early today, but again, those temperatures barely warm up by much. We're looking at highs only climbing into the low to mid 50s, if that. The radar is mainly dry right now, and as we're talking about wet roads, I know there's not a whole lot of rainfall on some of those roads, but some of them could still be damp. And a heads up, there's a lot of leaves falling right now, especially as you head into the Mohawk Valley. Now, when you get to a stop sign and you have leaves on the ground and you have to stop your car, a reminder that wet leaves are just as slippery as ice. So use extra precaution, especially going down hills if you see a lot of wet leaves on the ground, to slow down a bit more gradually. But again, throughout the day today, temperatures climb as high as the low 50s. We're back to slightly below average to near average temperatures for this time of year. We're saying goodbye to the 70s, at least temporarily. There could be a signal down the line for a warmer Halloween, but for now, again, 1 week until Halloween. This month is flying by, and before we know it, we'll be talking about Thanksgiving fairly quickly. The bigger picture right here, we've got that cold front that swept through our region. We got cold air aloft, keeping things not too warm today. High pressure moves back in this evening, tonight, and throughout tomorrow. So we're back to sunny skies, although not nearly as warm. Then we'll see another system arrive, this weakened cold front that will fall apart over our area, and a spotty shower or two, if that, for Saturday is expected. And so in our Skycast, a few lake effect clouds this morning, they'll come to an end as we head into this evening, and clear skies tonight give way to widespread frost. Budget an extra minute or so tomorrow to factor in scraping the frost off the windshield. Then tomorrow afternoon, we're in the mid-50s with sunshine. Then by tomorrow night, clouds increase. Here comes that frontal system, and notice here, these showers are not really widespread. We've got sunshine 1 minute, we got a rain shower the next, so one of those days where it's a mixed bag of weather depending on location. But most of that does dry out in time for Sunday, but it still remains pretty cool. We're in the 50s throughout the weekend into the start of next week, but if you take a look at the right side of your screen, we're up into the 60s, approaching near 70 degrees by Wednesday of next week. So we are warming up a little bit, and the signal still kind of shows that we could be looking at a warm Halloween. So we'll keep that in mind as days get closer. But so far, no Halloween snowstorms.
Which we've had.
Yeah, don't
we've had
up
floods.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if we could have some quiet weather, even a little mild,
we'll take it.
we'll take it. Absolutely. All right. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, Americans head into the holiday season with CABV Tower Core, and the news rolls along right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good morning once again. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And so we said yesterday it was going to be one of the better days to get out and enjoy it, because
Yes.
reality would soon set in, and it's here. But not a bad day today, but the front definitely moved through last night. You could hear it.
Yeah, it's a similar start to yesterday temperature-wise, but yeah, the difference is we're not going to warm into the 70s. It's going to stay in the 50s, but yeah, we're not talking about a terrible day. It's a pretty pleasant, I would say, October-like afternoon. I'll take a look outside right now. And first off, a look at those current conditions at Griffiths and Rome, sitting at 47 degrees. So it's right around average start for this time of year, heading out the door early this morning. And zooming out to other locations across upstate New York, we are in the 50s between Syracuse, Albany, 61 down in Poughkeepsie, but 44 up in Saranac Lake. Now, the radar is dry. It's just picking up on the inversion over us at this point. But the one thing you can tell with this inversion is you can see the winds northerly compared to that south wind yesterday, and that's going to change that high temperature. Instead of 70s, we're talking 50s. Now, we do have a few lake effect clouds in the sky today. They'll be a bit stubborn for most of the morning and early afternoon, but we're likely going to see skies clear by this evening, at least a good opportunity for sunshine, but with those clear skies, potential for widespread frost tonight. We'll talk about that, plus what the trend looks heading into this weekend and that temperature trend heading closer to Halloween in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never...
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Thursday morning. Today takes us to the town of Sauquoit for our photo of the day today. This one is a gorgeous shot of the fall foliage, the fall colors in the Sauquoit Park, taken by Angela. Amazing photo right here. We are still in peak fall color season right now in the lower elevations, but we're starting to see those grays begin to move in. So past peak is on our doorstep. So get out and enjoy the colors, and we still have them here for the next several days. Amazing photo. If you would like to submit a photo like this one, showcase the foliage in your neck of the woods, send it to the link right there on top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. Have the chance to have your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. This morning, similar temperatures to yesterday morning, although slightly cooler, but the main thing is we're not warming up by much. Highs in the 50s today and potential for frost tonight. And maybe how long does that cool stretch last? We'll, of course, talk about that coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
Eric, thanks. There's a long-term guest at Anita's Steve.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. This week is just flying by, and on top of that, after a very warm start to the week, things are trending a bit on the cooler side. A live look at our Cavvy Tower camera. Again, we are still looking at overall dark conditions early this morning. Sunrise sitting almost at 7:30 this morning. But a look at the current conditions: 47 in Rome, 50 in Hamilton. Zooming in, we've got 40s and 50s over much of the North Country, Mohawk Valley, and including the southern valleys. 49 Cooperstown, 48 in Sherburne. And the radar right now is entirely dry. However, we did see some rain showers arrive overnight, last night. Enough to maybe cause some damp roads, and that could be an issue, especially if there's a lot of leaves on it. A reminder that wet leaves are as slick as ice. You could encounter some slick conditions, so again, a heads up if you are heading out the door this morning. If you encounter wet roads with leaves on them, slow down a bit more cautiously, especially going downhill. But the main thing, the main change with that front that moved through yesterday is we're seeing a north wind compared to a south wind yesterday. That means those temperatures will climb only into the low 50s this afternoon. Still cloudy to start, but we'll see some breaks in the cloud cover, then more sunshine arriving by the evening. But a heads up, we're now a week away until Halloween. This month, as I mentioned, was flying by, and before we know it, we'll be talking a little bit more about Thanksgiving and eventually heading into the end of November and December. But back to that forecast. Today, we've got a cold front that just passed to our east. We've got a few more clouds in our area from that northwest wind, and as you can see here, high pressure moves back in again as we head into tomorrow. So sunshine returns for your Friday, but as we head into Friday night, into Saturday, a disorganized low pressure arrives, and that'll bring the chance for a few spotty showers. But zooming in, today, lake effect clouds come to an end. Sunshine moves in this evening. Clear skies tonight, so widespread frost expected for your Friday morning. By Friday afternoon, sunshine turns to increasing clouds once more as that system begins to arrive. And notice here, these showers, not really that organized. A spotty shower here, sunshine there, a mixed bag of weather expected for your Saturday. And moving forward into Sunday, it's trending a little more dry, but still a bit on the cool side. 50s through Monday, but if you look on Tuesday and Wednesday, heading closer and closer to Halloween next week, we're approaching near 70 degrees. We're back to a warmer than average stretch of weather to wrap up the month of October. So we're not looking any major cool down, no snowstorms, nothing too concerning for weather. If it's mild, we'll take it.
Absolutely. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, most strokes happen to people 65 and
News with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Thursday morning to you. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary this morning.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And so we had a beautiful day yesterday. Started mild, got warmer. Today started mild, but
Yeah, staying mild, not warming up too much today. Big difference with that front that rolled through last night. Those temperatures early today, in fact, taking a look at them right now, it's sitting at 48 degrees, so we're up a degree or so from the past few minutes, but still, it's a little breezy, northwest wind of around 9 miles per hour. But you can see here, across central New York, it's not too cold of a start, but as Steve mentioned, yes, we're going to be staying on the cool side. The radar is entirely dry. We're just picking up an inversion in the atmosphere with that light green. But the main thing with that time lapse here is you can see that northwest wind supplying us with that cool Canadian air. And because of that, those highs today only climb as high as the low 50s. A big difference compared to yesterday. Definitely not shorts and t-shirt weather today, that's for sure. Now, we are starting out with a few lake effect clouds. However, those clouds will gradually diminish as we head throughout the afternoon and the evening. Clear skies this evening and tonight, along the potential for widespread frost. Now, how warm will we get tomorrow and to the weekend? Plus, will we see a warm up for Halloween? We'll, of course, talk about all that and more coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Oneida County has launched a new tool to prevent drug.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. The time now is 6:10, and we're getting you set on what you can expect heading out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, we'll take a look across central New York on some of these traffic cameras. And as you can see here, so far quiet conditions. Some damp spots on roadways from that overnight rain. It didn't produce a whole lot, maybe about 1/10 of an inch maximum in some locations. But following this, we're tracking mainly dry weather for the day today. Now, on our traffic tracker early this morning, we've got, of course, a stalled vehicle right here, but no accidents to report early today. And with the temperatures initially in the 40s and 50s this morning, a similar start compared to yesterday, we're actually only warming up a few more degrees. So we're not seeing 70s, we're seeing mainly 50s. With clouds decreasing, sunshine moving in. So if you're heading out the door in the next few minutes, grab those sunglasses, but of course keep that light jacket handy. We are talking about a frosty overnight, and then how cool we continue into the weekend. Of course, that full forecast is coming up. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. Nearly 50 people across 10 states were sickened.
There's Spoil Your Day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
This portion of News Channel 2 is brought to you by PJ Green.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday, good Thursday morning. I am losing track. This is the third time I've said it. I feel like I'm mixing up Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I think the main thing, though, is that just overall October in general is just flying by. We're a week away from Halloween and just under a week away from those changes in November. But starting out, taking a live look at our Cavie Tower camera early this morning, we've got quiet conditions across the area, some lake effect clouds over much of central New York. Temperatures in the 40s, 52 degrees in Syracuse at this point. So most of us starting out the day not too chilly. Zooming in, North Country 40s, Mohawk Valley 40s and 50s, Southern Valleys in the 40s for most of the lower elevations. And look at what we can expect today. Those 40s don't really climb up into the 70s like we saw yesterday, actually only into the low 50s. So it's going to be a cool one today, feeling a lot more like October, with the normal high usually sitting at 57, so we're slightly cooler than average for today. The radar, as I mentioned, is entirely dry after a few scattered showers overnight, even some lightning. For those of you who saw it last night as well, enough instability in the atmosphere for that. But really, we got dry weather moving back in again. However, with some of those roads still a bit on the damp side, a heads up that you want to exercise caution, stopping, especially on hills going downhill, as some of those wet leaves could be as slippery as ice. Those winds we saw yesterday and including today are just causing those leaves to drop very quickly. As I mentioned, we're about a week away until Halloween, and so far, we're not looking at a cool down. In fact, quite the opposite. We'll talk about that coming up in our 7-day forecast. But today, bigger picture, that cold front has just passed the east of us. We're in this cooler pattern. High pressure moves back in by tonight and for the start of Friday. Then by Friday night, here comes another system with another chance of rain heading into Saturday morning. That'll, of course, bring with it a bit of a taste of cooler weather as well by Saturday evening and into Sunday. And so in our Skycast, we've got lake effect clouds taking place over much of the area this morning. Those clouds will dissipate. We'll see more sunshine arrive. Temperatures struggle to reach the mid-50s, so it's going to be a cool and breezy one today. By tonight, with those clear skies, lows will fall quickly below freezing. So a heads up, budget extra minute or so to scrape the frost off the windshield tomorrow morning. Then by tomorrow afternoon, we're back into the 50s. Clouds increase by Friday evening, and here comes that system, bringing a few scattered lake effect showers initially, and then a few scattered showers throughout the day on Saturday. But notice here, sunshine by noontime, followed by a rain shower here or there. So mixed bag of weather expected for the end of the week into the weekend. Following Saturday, we've got a cooler one for Sunday, and then Monday starting out with 53 degrees for the high, but we're up into the 60s and 70s as we approach Wednesday of next week. So although we're in a bit of a cool stretch, a warm-up is on the way yet again. Summer just doesn't want to lose its grip over our area. I mean, I'll take 70s any time of the week, but it's insane how far late this is going. So.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we've seen so much on Halloween over the years that
yes,
why not
why
not throw a 70-degree day? And we'll see how that shakes out. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, Americans head into this holiday season.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary this Thursday.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage, also here on this Thursday.
It is
this
Thursday
morning.
Eric's having a little trouble with the days. He apparently loves Tuesday so much that every day, it's always Tuesday. It's like Groundhog
Day. It's always
Tuesday. If you're going to pick a day to repeat, make it Friday, dude, not Tuesday.
If I could put Tuesday's weather on Friday,
absolutely.
There we go.
All right, yes. I got you. All right, that makes sense, sort of.
But yes, this morning it's a similar start to yesterday on the temperature side of things. Starting out in the 40s, 48 at Griffiths and Rome. Refreshing humidity, but unlike yesterday, we've got that north wind. No longer seeing that strong south wind bringing in those warmer summer-like temperatures. We're sitting at 48 as well in Hamilton, in the 50s in Albany and in Syracuse, in the 40s heading out to western New York. And the radar is dry. However, you can see here some light green indicated by an inversion the radar is picking up. That indicates to us we've got that north wind taking shape over our area. And with that north wind, instead of 70s for the highs like yesterday, we're talking about 50s. And we've got a few lake effect clouds moving through our area early this morning. Those clouds will be stubborn initially, then gradually weaken and diminish as we head throughout the afternoon and evening, creating opportunity for plenty of sunshine right around sunset. Now, tonight with clear skies, we're tracking widespread frost for your Friday morning. And on top of that, potential cool Friday as well. But will that stick around to the weekend, and will we see a warm-up again? We'll talk about that coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Thursday morning. Today we are starting out with a look at the photo of the day today. This one takes us to Secaucus. An amazing photo right here of the fall colors. This is submitted by Angela. A big thank you to this photo submission. And the colors have been absolutely vibrant this year in most of the Mohawk Valley. The maples especially. I've seen some of those trees with the orange maple leaves, but the red tips. They are just fantastic colors across the board. And we'll continue to see these vibrant colors for the next few days or so, but a lot more grays starting to move in. And stronger winds from yesterday as well as today causing a lot of those leaves to continue to fall. So if you want to submit a photo like this one, send to the link right there on the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics, to have the chance to have your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Well, this morning, temperatures vary in the 40s over much of central New York and will climb only a few more degrees into the 50s by this afternoon. But we're tracking frost tonight and then potential for a cool weekend. We'll, of course, talk about that coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. There's a long-term guest that Anita's...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. Today is starting out somewhat on the mild side, 40s, not quite into the 30s, but mainly dry after a front rolled through last night, producing a few spotty showers and even some rumbles of thunder. Our Cappy Tower camera this morning showing, again, not too much. It's a quiet morning with temperatures in the 40s for pretty much all of upstate New York. Some spots reaching the 50-degree mark, but zooming in to central New York, you can see here 40s and 50s for the Mohawk Valley, 40s for the North Country to the southern valleys. Most locations are still in the 40s. And the difference with today compared to yesterday is we're not really warming up by much. We've got a north wind taking hold of us today that'll keep those high temperatures in the low 50s. So it's going to be cool, it's breezy, feeling a lot more like an October day today, that's for sure. The radar, as I mentioned, is entirely dry. Those rain showers that rolled through last night produced negligible rainfall, maybe a tenth of an inch, maybe maximum, maybe a quarter of an inch of rainfall, but most of us saw a few spotty showers. But some locations still do have some wet spots. And if you factor in some of those leaves on the road, a reminder to slow down, drive extra cautiously when you have leaves on the roadways, wet roadways, because it takes a lot longer to stop and it could be as slippery as ice. But a reminder, though, as we look ahead to the final week of October, we're now 1 week away until Halloween. It's next Thursday, and if you're in the Halloween spirit, well, we've got more October-like weather between now through the start of next week, but a potential warm-up is expected. We'll talk about that coming up in our 7-day forecast. Today, a cold pull over our area following that cold front. However, high pressure moves right back in again, so we're quiet for most of the daytime today. Clear skies tonight, and then a sunny start to your day for your Friday before more scattered showers arrive from low pressure heading into Saturday. And so zooming in our skycast this morning, a few stubborn lake effect clouds coming to an end by this afternoon with high temperatures in the low 50s. By tonight, skies remain clear. Lows will fall quickly below freezing. So a heads up, frosty start tomorrow morning. Then following that, we're up into the 50s by tomorrow afternoon. Sunshine turns to clouds increasing by Friday night. And then by Saturday, a spotty shower mixed in with sunshine, a mixed bag of weather expected for the daytime hours to start the weekend. And so your 7-day forecast, we've got 50s for the next few days for highs, 20s for most of the overnight lows. Friday night, the exception, sitting at 43 degrees. Sunday, high of 50, looking mainly dry, but we look to Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got 60s and 70s back on tap again, so as we approach Halloween, we're seeing back to summer-like conditions. So the warm weather just doesn't want to leave just yet.
All right, we understand that. And making strides walk on Sunday. Still looks dry as of right now. A little chilly, but dry.
Yeah, bundle up, but it should be dry this morning.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, the time now is 6:53. Still ahead on
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, Central New York. Today starting out in the 40s, and it's not warming up by much, only as high as the low 50s this afternoon. Radar and satellite this morning is showing that cold front to our south and east. This is what brought this changes in weather. That cold front is also steering that low pressure system out in the Atlantic out to the north and east, missing us entirely. But in the wake of this front, you can barely see it. We got a few lake effect clouds moving in from Lake Ontario. This will sweep through our area for most of the start of the day today. However, we'll be seeing a lot more sunshine return by the evening as high pressure moves back in again from the west. But as I mentioned, it's not warming up by much. Highs only in the low 50s this afternoon. And overall winds a little breezy, wind speeds between 10 and 15 miles per hour by the evening hours. And on top of that, clouds will gradually decrease as well into tonight, which could be potential for frost to form. Now, although things are mainly dry right now, there still could be a few spots in the roadways that might be wet. You factor in lots of leaves on the roadways as well, and it spells a concern for slippery surfaces. Wet leaves are as slippery as ice, so a heads up that you want to exercise extra driving caution when you are driving either downhill, uphill, through locations that have lots of leaves and they are wet. But regardless, something else that's notable heading into the next few days is that we're officially 1 week away until Halloween. The countdown begins now, and pretty soon we'll be handing out, or for some of you watching, if you're young enough, going out and picking up some candy. And on top of that, as soon as Halloween passes, we'll be slowly moving into Thanksgiving season as this year just continues to fly by. And so, bigger picture, that cold front trailing it, you can see the change in temperature right here. We got this cooler pocket of air over our region. Now, high pressure moves back in again, keeping things quiet for tonight and for the start of Friday. But by Friday night, here comes a low pressure system from the northwest. It'll spill into our region and cause a potential for a few spotty showers on Saturday. And so, on our Skycast today, lake effect clouds give way to sunshine and highs only in the low to mid 50s. By tonight, with these skies clearing out, lows will quickly fall into the 30s and 20s. So widespread frost is expected for the early morning hours tomorrow. Then we climb into the 50s by the afternoon with sunshine and then clouds increasing as we head into the overnight hours. As the system arrives, it'll bring a few spotty showers early Saturday morning. A mix of sun, clouds, and rain are expected. So we've got disorganized showers moving through the region. So expect potentially sunshine for a few hours, rain shower for an hour, then back to sunshine again. One of those days that Mother Nature can't quite make up her mind. About your 7-day forecast, we've got cool conditions lingering through Sunday and Monday. But take a look at this. Tuesday and Wednesday, heading closer to Halloween, it's shaping up a little bit on the warmer side. You probably don't have to bundle up if you're going out trick-or-treating next week.
Dr. Frank here.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, Central New York. Today's starting out in the 40s, and it's not warming up by much, only as high as the low 50s this afternoon. Radar and satellite this morning is showing that cold front to our south and east. This is what brought this changes in weather. That cold front is also steering that low pressure system out in the Atlantic out to the north and east, missing us entirely. But in the wake of this front, you can barely see it. You got a few lake effect clouds moving in from Lake Ontario. This will sweep through our area for most of the start of the day today. However, we'll be seeing a lot more sunshine return by the evening as high pressure moves back in again from the west. But as I mentioned, it's not warming up by much. Highs only in the low 50s this afternoon. And overall winds a little breezy, wind speeds between 10 and 15 miles per hour by the evening hours. And on top of that, clouds will gradually decrease as well into tonight, which could be potential for frost to form. Now, although things are mainly dry right now, there still could be a few spots in the roadways that might be wet. You factor in lots of leaves on the roadways as well, and it spells concern for slippery surfaces. Wet leaves are as slippery as ice, so a heads up that you want to exercise extra driving caution when you are driving either downhill, uphill, through locations that have lots of leaves and they are wet. But regardless, something else that's notable heading into the next few days that we're officially 1 week away until Halloween. The countdown begins now, and pretty soon we'll be handing out, or for some of you watching, if you're young enough, going out and picking up some candy. And on top of that, as soon as Halloween passes, we'll be slowly moving into Thanksgiving season as this year just continues to fly by. And so, bigger picture, that cold front trailing it, you can see the change in temperature right here. We got this cooler pocket of air over our region. Now, high pressure moves back in again, keeping things quiet for tonight and for the start of Friday. But by Friday night, here comes a low pressure system from the northwest. It'll spill into our region and cause a potential for a few spotty showers on Saturday. And so, on our Skycast today, lake effect clouds give way to sunshine and highs only in the low to mid 50s. By tonight, with these skies clearing out, lows will quickly fall into the 30s and 20s. So widespread frost is expected for the early morning hours tomorrow. Then we climb into the 50s by the afternoon with sunshine and then clouds increasing as we head into the overnight hours. As the system arrives, it'll bring a few spotty showers early Saturday morning. A mix of sun, clouds, and rain are expected. So we've got disorganized showers moving through the region. So expect potentially sunshine for a few hours, rain shower for an hour, then back to sunshine again. One of those days that Mother Nature can't quite make up her mind. About your 7-day forecast, we've got cool conditions lingering through Sunday and Monday. But take a look at this. Tuesday and Wednesday, heading closer to Halloween, it's shaping up a little bit on the warmer side. We probably don't have to bundle up if you're going out trick-or-treating next week.
This is
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, Central New York. Today's starting out in the 40s, and it's not warming up by much, only as high as the low 50s this afternoon. Radar and satellite this morning is showing that cold front to our south and east. This is what brought this changes in weather. That cold front is also steering that low pressure system out in the Atlantic out to the north and east, missing us entirely. But in the wake of this front, you can barely see it. We got a few lake effect clouds moving in from Lake Ontario. This will sweep through our area for most of the start of the day today. However, we'll be seeing a lot more sunshine return by the evening as high pressure moves back in again from the west. But as I mentioned, it's not warming up by much. Highs only in the low 50s this afternoon. And overall winds a little breezy, wind speeds between 10 and 15 miles per hour by the evening hours. And on top of that, clouds will gradually decrease as well into tonight, which could be a potential for frost to form. Now, although things are mainly dry right now, there still could be a few spots in the roadways that might be wet. You factor in lots of leaves on the roadways as well, and it spells a concern for slippery surfaces. Wet leaves are as slippery as ice, so a heads up that you want to exercise extra driving caution when you are driving either downhill, uphill, through locations that have lots of leaves and they are wet. But regardless, something else that's notable heading into the next few days that we're officially 1 week away until Halloween. The countdown begins now, and pretty soon we'll be handing out, or for some of you watching, if you're young enough, going out and picking up some candy. And on top of that, as soon as Halloween passes, we'll be slowly moving into Thanksgiving season as this year just continues to fly by. And so, bigger picture, that cold front trailing it, you can see the change in temperature right here. We got this cooler pocket of air over our region. Now, high pressure moves back in again, keeping things quiet for tonight and for the start of Friday. But by Friday night, here comes a low pressure system from the northwest. It'll spill into our region and cause a potential for a few spotty showers on Saturday. And so, on our Skycast today, lake effect clouds give way to sunshine and highs only in the low to mid 50s. By tonight, with these skies clearing out, lows will quickly fall into the 30s and 20s. So widespread frost is expected for the early morning hours tomorrow. Then we climb into the 50s by the afternoon with sunshine and then clouds increasing as we head into the overnight hours. As the system arrives, it'll bring a few spotty showers early Saturday morning. A mix of sun, clouds, and rain are expected. So we've got disorganized showers moving through the region. So expect potentially sunshine for a few hours, rain shower for an hour, then back to sunshine again. One of those days that Mother Nature can't quite make up her mind. About your 7-day forecast, we've got cool conditions lingering through Sunday and Monday. But take a look at this. Tuesday and Wednesday, heading closer to Halloween. It's shaping up a little bit on the warmer side. We probably don't have to bundle up if you're going out trick-or-treating next week.
Attention homeowners.
Eric said what a difference a day makes. Yesterday we were approaching, at this point, we were almost at 80 degrees.
Yeah.
And it was, unbelievably gorgeous out. Not a bad day, but it's hard to top a top 10 day, right?
Yeah, and we go from 70s to maybe around 50s, 40s for much of us right now. In fact, look at those current temperatures. We are sitting at 48 degrees at Rome, so quite the difference compared to yesterday. And the winds are not too bad right now, but as we take a look at conditions all across central New York, we are still seeing persistent lake effect cloud cover. There are some blue skies popping out here and there, but as we head throughout the afternoon, we'll see a lot more blue skies as this lake effect cloud cover begins to fall apart and more dry air begins to move in. But for now, again, that cloud cover is also limiting those temperatures from climbing any warmer than 40 or so, upper 40-degree temperatures. And a live look at the Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We are mainly dry right now. Thank you to our Skywatcher Bill and Old Forge, who reported that there was drizzle from lake effect up in the North Country earlier this morning. We actually see a faint signature of it just off the coast of Lake Ontario in Oswego County. So there are some isolated spots of drizzle, but most of us remaining dry. Sunnier skies move in this evening, and then clear skies tonight, enough for widespread frost. Now, this will be a trend as we head into the weekend, but not every day we'll see frost. So we'll let you know exactly when we'll see them, plus how that weekend is shaping up straight ahead. Steve?
Eric, thanks. New this noon, Utica Police.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is shaping up rather cool. Temperatures still in the 40s over a lot of our area at this point. Oneonta right now, few persistent clouds, but some blue skies peeking in between that cloud cover as well. And that's pretty much what we'll be expecting for most of the day today. I mentioned we are running a few degrees cooler than yesterday around noontime. How about 25 degrees cooler? This is quite a drop. We were near 70 degrees yesterday afternoon, and some spots, actually even up in Saranac Lake, over 30 degrees cooler than compared to 24 hours ago. Those official temperatures sitting in the 40s for much of the state. The hot spot down in Poughkeepsie at 64 degrees. More locally, temperatures in the 40s for much of the North Country, upper 40s to low 50s here in the Mohawk Valley, then to the south, upper 40s to low 50s. In some of the lower valley locations, a little on the warmer side. Well, the radar is entirely dry this noontime. Some isolated lake effect drizzle right off of Lake Ontario and Oswego County, but it's isolated, most of us remaining entirely dry. And with that north wind or northwest wind in place, temperatures are going to continue to stay in the low 50s for most this afternoon. So no big warm up, at least for today. It will cool down into the 40s and 30s overnight tonight, enough for the development of widespread frost. This will include both the highest elevations all the way down to the lowest elevations. So budget an extra minute or so to scrape some frost off the windshield tomorrow morning, to frost the windshield. Any way you do it, just letting you know you might have to leave your house a little early to go and do that. So larger scale side of things, we've got that low pressure moving to the east, dragging along that cold front. We're in a pocket of cooler air here in central New York. Tonight, high pressure in place keeps things quiet and dry, enough for clear skies and that radiational cooling to enforce that frost to form. As we head into Friday night into Saturday, a low pressure system begins to arrive from the west. This will bring in the chance for a few spotty showers across the area for Saturday. Not a complete washout. But as you can see here, today, lake effect persistent clouds. By this evening, we should see a little bit more regarding clearing. And of course, by tonight, mostly clear skies are expected, lows falling down into the 30s and 20s. Tomorrow, rebounding back into the 50s by the afternoon. Lots of sunshine, clouds increasing from the west. And then by Saturday, we got a few spotty clouds mixed in with sunshine and even a few spotty rain showers. So one of those days where we'll be seeing a mixed bag of weather. Sunshine a few hours, a passing shower, then back to sun once more. And so your 7-day forecast for now, It's going to be breezy, unsettled, hit or miss on Saturday. The latest data is coming in for Sunday. It's trending dry for the morning. We're cutting it close for some showers Sunday night from a separate system, but especially for those that are planning on doing the walk, making strides against breast cancer walk on Sunday. The official time, what is it in the
I believe they
daytime?
start at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
The activities start at in the 9 a.m. range, and then the walk itself starts at 10.
Okay, so for now, around 10 a.m., it's looking dry. But again, bundle up. It's going to be a bit chilly out.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, with all the dry weather this fall, first check of the forecast in this half hour. Eric is here, and 1 week away for all the ghouls and goblins out there to go trick-or-treating. And it may actually not be that bad. So we'll see.
Yes, and yeah, 1 week away. I'm starting to see a lot more of those Halloween decorations pop up as well. We're getting into the season now, and yeah, the countdown is on. And how will it shape up? Well, let's take a look at that temperature trend as we look ahead to the next few days. So this is between now and next Wednesday. Keep in mind, next Thursday, of course, is Halloween. And notice, we're mainly in the 50s and upper 40s between now and roughly Monday of next week, but we got a surge of warm weather. We're up into the 60s, potentially nearing 70 degrees by next Wednesday and Thursday. Now, again, this is about a week or so out, so take some of these temperatures with a grain of salt as we look ahead beyond 7 days to 8-9 days ahead. But the overall temperature trend based off of the wind patterns and all that sort gives us a good idea of that. It's likely going to be above average as we approach Halloween. So no Halloween snowstorms, that's for sure. Temperatures in the 40s across much of the area right now. In the next 12 hours, maybe the low 50s if we're lucky, as that sun will slowly start to peek out over parts of the area. Then tonight, skies clear out, lows fall down into the 30s, in fact, low 30s, enough for widespread frost. But we'll talk about how warm it gets tomorrow and the more details on that weekend forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks a lot. Oneida County Sheriff's deputies are investigating.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a cool afternoon here across the region with some sunshine starting to peek out. Lake effect clouds are gradually diminishing across our region, and we're likely going to see plenty of sun by this evening. So the cloudy skies only temporary. But as we head into this afternoon, we are still sitting roughly 25 degrees cooler than it was 24 hours ago. So quite the shock to the system for some of you probably waking up expecting a warm day, but Mother Nature decides to keep it just the same as it was earlier this morning. In fact, some spots actually dropped a few degrees compared to earlier today. Officially in the 40s here in central New York, zooming into the North Country, still in the 40s, in fact, reached 50 in Lake Pleasant. Mid-50s in Little Falls to the south, 40s and 50s. So still a pretty cool day out there across central New York. The radar right now is entirely dry. We did receive reports of light drizzle in the North Country earlier this morning. That wind direction has shifted, and we'll see mainly dry conditions stick around for today and through tonight. Temperatures peaking in the low to mid 50s. That's really about it warmth-wise. We're back into the 30s tonight. In fact, low 30s, upper 20s, enough for widespread frost to form. This includes lowest elevations up to the highest elevations. So if you are heading out to the door early tomorrow morning to work, I would definitely budget an extra minute or two for frost scraping on the windshield. But today, larger scale, high pressure is moving back in. Here's that cold front that brought with it that cooler weather. And we'll remain quiet until roughly Friday night and into early Saturday morning. That's when our next low pressure arrives, and that brings with it the chance of a few spotty showers as a cooler air mass reaches our region. But notice the darker colors going to near purple, the frigid conditions, still stay well north of us. So we're not going to see a surge of Arctic air, at least for the short term. And so under Skycast today, Lake effect clouds gradually diminishing. Clear skies and sunshine this evening. Clear skies tonight, with lows quickly falling down into the 30s and 20s. After a frosty start to your Friday, we warm back up into the 50s with plenty of sunshine. Pretty pleasant day. By the evening, clouds increase once more. Then here comes the potential for a few more scattered showers overnight into early Saturday morning. And then Saturday in the afternoon, a mixed bag of sunshine, then clouds, then a rain shower or two. So not completely dry, but you can't rule out a stray shower after 1 or 2 hours of sunshine. So that's how Saturday shapes up. More data has come in on Sunday. I know we have the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk on around the late morning, around 10 a.m. when the walk starts. It looks dry initially, but then rain will arrive later on in the day, roughly after sunset. So for now, we're leaving rain showers out of that icon for that forecast. But if you take a close look at that forecast for next week, we're back into the 60s and 70s. So even though we're seeing these cooling trends, we still have these last-minute surges of summer-like weather. Just doesn't want to leave just yet.
Which I think everybody's okay with.
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, you've probably heard of Comic-Con, but
Cast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Much cooler weather today. We had a cold front that came through last night, and we're looking at dry conditions this evening, but it is chilly. You want to keep that jacket handy. Sitting at 47 degrees, cloudy skies at Griffiths and Rome, but skies will be clearing out as we head into tonight. The stage is set for a widespread hard frost as we head into tomorrow morning. The weather stays seasonably cool heading into the weekend, but all signs point to a significant change in the weather pattern for next week. And the warm weather that we experienced earlier this week looks to return just in time for Halloween. Forecast for this evening, decreasing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Again, it doesn't get cold tonight. Going to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. There was a boy born in...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
It's going to be chilly tonight. Skies are expected to clear out, setting the stage for a widespread hard frost. Quite a turnaround from yesterday. Live look in downtown Utica. Clouds have temporarily returned. Temperature of 47 degrees. We're looking at dry conditions on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Yesterday's afternoon temperature, as we all remember, in the mid-70s, 76 at Griffiths and Rome. Tonight, we're going to drop down into the upper 20s. That is quite a dramatic change in the weather. We're used to that, but it's still a shock to the system. First thing tomorrow morning, widespread frost. As a look at overnight lows across the area. Remsen, 28 degrees. Old Forge, 26. Middleville, 27. Little Falls, 31. Widespread frost across southern valleys. Richfield, Springs, 31. Morris, 31. New Hartford down to 31 degrees. If you do have some cleanup to do over the next couple of days, a lot of leaves coming down. Best day to do that looks to be either tomorrow or Sunday. On Saturday, we do have some showers returning, especially early in the day. Our sky watchers checking in. Whitesboro, 50 degrees. Forestport, 44. West Leiden, 48. Curtis, 51 degrees. Jeff and Mohawk, 51. Eric and Inlet, 42. Westford, Dave, 49 degrees. Stewart and Cooperstown with 49. We have an area of high pressure moving in from the west. It's going to help clear us out as we head into tonight. It's a fast mover, so tomorrow we'll see sunshine early in the day, and then these clouds to the west will catch up with us. That's part of a cold front. Yeah, another cold front that will be arriving tomorrow night. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast. Widespread frost tonight. Overnight lows start out or drop down into the upper 20s. We'll start out in the low 30s Friday morning. It'll be a chilly day. You want to keep the jacket handy, but we do warm up. We'll be in the low 50s in the afternoon. Sunshine early in the day gives way to clouds in the afternoon. Again, that cold front arrives later in the day. It should be nice weather for high school football games. 6 o'clock, temperatures in the upper 40s. Will remain mostly cloudy tomorrow night. A few scattered showers arrive late. Saturday, we're expecting a few lingering lake effect rain showers, especially west of Utica. It looks to be a breezy day as well, with high temperatures in the low 50s. Tonight, frost 29, clear skies. Tomorrow, sunshine gives way to clouds, temperatures in the upper 50s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Pretty decent weather over the weekend, making strides against breast cancer. Sunday morning will be chilly, but we'll be up to 50 in the afternoon. Sunny skies Monday, 53. We're dry, but clouds thicken up. The weather warms up. Back to 70 heading into Wednesday and Thursday.
Love that. An important day for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not election day. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6, Syracuse football is back with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. What you got here for us today?
Big drop in temperature. This is kind of the headline here. We were 76 yesterday. We'll be 29 this morning, or tomorrow morning. So yeah, we've got some cold weather on the way. Let's take a look at the current temperature. We are sitting at 36 degrees. It's continuing to cool off very quickly this evening. Calm winds, clear skies. We've got low humidity. We're expecting a widespread frost as we head into tomorrow morning. Should have no problem doing that. We've got clear skies across the area. It's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Weather remains dry tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 20s. Again, widespread frost is expected. We are tracking a relatively cool weekend ahead with warmer weather on the way. We're not done with 70-degree weather. I'll let you know when it returns coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Pulling out all this.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Clear skies. Cold this evening, much colder than this time last night. We're sitting at a temperature of 39 degrees in downtown Utica. Most areas are expected to fall below freezing tonight. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is dry. Here's a look at overnight lows tonight. Middleville 27, Remsen 28, Utica 31, Waterville 31. Again, a hard frost is expected. New Hartford 32, Hamilton 32, Richfield Springs and Cooperstown, as well as Morris, down to 31. This picture, the Milky Way galaxy, taken by yours truly from Smith Hill. You can see that pretty clearly if you can get away from light pollution. It's a haze in the sky. This is using a digital camera, so it's a little bit more, it does enhance the light a little bit more, but you can see the Milky Way in the evening, assuming that skies are clear. That will be the case this evening. Tomorrow, not so much. We do have some weather on the way, but it is going to be a nice day tomorrow. Should be a good day to clean up the yard if you have to. The leaves are coming down in droves these days, as we are now considered past peak in terms of fall color. Saturday goes down as a no. We have some rain showers around in the morning. The weather does look more favorable by Sunday. We've got a dome of high pressure that's moving in tonight. It's going to give us clear skies. This is a fairly fast mover. There's a decent amount of movement in the jet stream. So we'll see clear skies tonight, sunshine tomorrow, but this area of cloud cover is quickly going to move in as we head into tomorrow evening. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, again, clear skies tonight, overnight lows in the upper 20s. It's sunny throughout Friday morning and early Friday afternoon. Temperatures respond. We'll be in the low 50s by 1 o'clock. We'll make it into the mid-50s in the afternoon with clouds thickening up. Looking mostly cloudy for high school football games in the evening. A few showers arrive Friday night. This is all part of a cold front, and the stage is set for some lake effect rain showers Saturday morning, especially west of Utica. A windy and cooler day with high temperatures in the low 50s. Tonight, frosts, low of 29. Tomorrow, sunshine gives way to clouds, temperatures in the upper 50s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather over the weekend looks okay. Some showers are expected Saturday, especially in the morning, 53. Sunday, 50 degrees for the high. Sunshine Monday. A significant warm-up is expected next week. We're 60 on Tuesday, and then back to 70 on Wednesday and Halloween.
So why are we seeing this?
The jet stream. Big ripples, big waves in the jet stream, just kind of moving along. Right now we're in the dip of it, so we're getting the cold weather. By next week we'll be in what's called the ridge. That's going to move in. So that's your answer.
Not much surprises you, though, so this isn't really surprising. This kind of stuff can happen.
We get a lot of this in the fall. To get these transitions, it's uncommon.
But not unheard of.
Yeah.
And because it's happening now. Thanks,
Yeah.
Bill. Coming up next, McDonald. Now for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. What a day makes. What a difference a day makes.
Yes, yesterday we were in the 70s. Tomorrow morning we're going to be in the 20s. We've got this big plunge ahead of us. It's going to be pretty chilly here. In fact, as we look at current temperatures this evening, we are now down to 35, clear skies. So already starting to see the possibility of frost out there. Winds are calm, and with clear skies in place and light winds, it's a recipe for cold temperatures. This is probably going to be the coldest night so far this season in many areas, as most areas are expected to start out in the 20s. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, quiet conditions out there tonight. Overnight lows are expected to fall into the upper 20s. Weather looks pretty nice as we head into the weekend, and we have a pretty substantial warm up ahead. In fact, looks like we may be making a run back into the 70s here. I'll let you know when that happens coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Pulling out.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are taking a live look in downtown Utica, a temperature of 37 degrees. It is cooling off quickly this evening. Many areas will be falling into the 20s tonight under clear skies. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, all is quiet across the region. Tonight, again, it's looking cold. Here's a look at expected overnight lows across central New York. Remsen down to 28, Boonville 27, Old Forge 26, Rome down to 29, Utica 31, Oneida 33. Widespread frost is expected across the southern valleys as well. Cooperstown, Richfield Springs, Morris, New Hartford down to 31, Herkimer, Canajoharie expecting an overnight low of 32. Take a look at this photo. This was taken by yours truly, the Milky Way galaxy. This was taken this evening right here on Smith Hill. I do have a DSLR camera, so it is enhancing some of the light, but you could still see it even with the naked eye. It's just a very light, very dim light that's directly overhead around 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening. And again, it's pretty neat. You should be able to spot that here over the next several days once skies clear out again, which will likely be Saturday night and into Sunday. The fall cleanup, the leaves are coming down. Now that we're past peak for most areas, if you do have to clean up the yard, maybe it's not just raking the leaves, maybe it's just getting ready for winter. Tomorrow's a good day to do that. Saturday, the morning looks wet. We do get a chance to dry out later in the day. Sunday looks much nicer with sunshine and temperatures in the low 50s. The radar and satellite image shows an area of high pressure working in from the west. This is going to bring us sunshine tomorrow, but things are moving relatively quickly in the atmosphere, so this area of cloud cover will move in from the west. And that'll be our weather maker for tomorrow night and Saturday as a cold front. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, clear skies tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 20s. Sunshine Friday morning gives way to cloud cover late in the day. Should be a beautiful day, though. Temperatures in the low 50s. Tomorrow night, cloudy skies. Should be good weather for high school football. Showers return late tomorrow night into early Saturday. Lake effect rain showers. Clouds give way to sunshine Saturday. Temperatures in the low 50s. Frost tonight down to 29. Sunshine tomorrow gives way to clouds. A high of 57. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy, but generally nice Saturday afternoon after a few showers in the morning. Making strides against breast cancer. Sunday morning looks chilly. Temperatures near 50 in the afternoon. Sunshine Monday. It gets a lot warmer. 60 on Tuesday, 70 as we look ahead to Wednesday and Thursday, which is also Halloween.
It's probably been quite a while since we've seen 70s at Halloween.
Got to go back to 2019.
I knew you would know. It's the best. Coming up next, McDonald's.